time. I thought when I open up my windows and it looks like I'm rocking the get out of the car and it looks like I'm rocking the ganja because a fog wave comes out. Um, yeah, Friday and the Fallout Fizzle. The reason I'm calling today the Fallout Fizzle is because yesterday was Fallout Day. It was like, the 15th anniversary of the New Vegas game was not too long ago, and of course they're going to New Vegas in the TV series. I'm dying laughing at all this one imbecile. It's New Vegas. It's not Las Vegas. How would these two know that? It didn't become New Vegas until after the apocalypse. And you're dealing with, maybe the ghoul would know, but the character Lucy would not know about New Vegas. She's been in a vault the whole time. But I just wanted to bring it up as a point, as a lot of the stuff that's going on there was a lot of the stuff that's been happening with Doctor Who. You have the so-called lore masters and the holy bishops of canon, or should I say the holy bishops of canon, who says you can't do this because of this, blah, blah. You need to go back to basics, blah, blah, blah. It's like, and they're having that same thing going on over there now, because a lot of people were throwing a fit because the character of the ghoul is going to be appearing in the Fallout 76 game. And it's like, the character of the ghoul has been wandering the wasteland for 219 years in that universe at this point, since the bombs dropped in that universe. Which means, yes, within 25 years after the bombs drop, which is where 76 takes place 25 years after. It's probably, probably one of the ones that took place the closest to the time of the big boom. And yes, within 25 years, even anybody could have walked from the West Coast to the East Coast. And it could be the simple fact that, as was stated in the first season, this character is still looking for where his wife and his child wound up. Because they have cryo freezing and stuff like that. That's why there are characters out there who are walking around that are, over 200 years old, because some of them have been literally inside a freezer. And people have been bitching about that, like the Doctor can't be female, the Doctor can't be black, the Doctor can't be this. The Doctor could be a frickin' kangaroo on meth, for crying out loud. It was never truly defined. It was never meant to be defined. But little changes in the series from here on have led to this kind of thing. And it's the same thing that goes on over in the Fallout universe. It's all susceptible to change, folks. It's not going to go the way you saw it in some book or read it in, some manual like 20 years ago. And that's the same thing. Yeah, the Doctor could be a tree. It would be a poor bored-ass tree, wouldn't it? What do you mean I'm rooted to one spot? No. So, it's the same kind of thing that's going on. But in a way, I can understand why they're pissed, because for years they've been waiting. They thought for sure they were going to announce that they're remastering or updating Fallout New Vegas, and sure enough, it didn't happen. And it's like, we do that sometimes with Doctor Who. But the problem is, it all boils down to be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. Like for years, I've been hoping that Sutekh would come back. I was hoping Omega would reappear, and they did. Oh boy, was that a shit fest, wasn't it? Oh, that was a train wreck from which nobody recovered. Oh, that was the sidewalks of Hiroshima. 5 seconds after the bomb drop. Well, for the first few days after the bomb drop. It was terrible. On both ends. With both, Omega and, of course, Sutekh. And, of course, they dropped the bomb with Susan. Because they had to re-edit out the ending. And I'm glad they did in this case, because if you think you're pissed off now, if they had left the original ending in, they were basically going to say that Poppy was going to grow up to be Susan's mother. Yeah, there's one off in the distance over here. We still get them every now and then. Sadly, it's not like good in the good old days where you could sit out here and watch a train full of M1 tanks go by. That's what I was told about by some of the oldsters. Because the plant that builds the M1 tank is somewhere near here, and General Dynamics, I think it's off over that way somewhere. But and they said they used to see whole, literally, the backs, train cars, the flatbed train cars, and they'd be loaded with like 2 or 3 M1 Abrams, on each one going by. But if you truly want to know the story of the development of the M1A1 Abrams, I recommend a book called King of the Killing Zone. And that was made, oh God, that book was written decades ago. I can't remember when I read that book, but it was a damn good breakdown of how the M1A1 Abrams came to be. But well, RTD, of course, decided to change the ending because he had no choice. They had to go back and do reshoots and all that because Shooty decided to leave. That's one of the reasons why they had to reshoot it. When's the new Bad Ben come? I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. Who's Bad Ben? Sounds like Big Ben became a transformer and went evil. For years, he stood there at Parliament as a clock tower. Then one day he got pissed off. Bad Big Ben, the revenge. Bong. But meanwhile, let's see. Yeah, so I'm really, you see, that was going to be all of Susan's involvement. Look, that's Mom. No. That's one of the things I will heavily never mind that they ever go into is, if they've never went into it, I would really be happy. And I think that's one of the things we kind of like to leave mysterious is what happened to the doctor's family. All right. Now, Susan, I would love to have seen Susan reappear, but as we saw, oh look, I'm having a mental, I'm having a mental bing bong, and my granddaughter saying, you need to get back here because I need you, and then of course she never reappears because they had to rewrite the ending, reshoot the ending, and all that stuff because Shooty decided, I'm F this, I'm not hanging around. Meanwhile, Millie Gibbo's bitching about how bad her life is or was because the press said I was a diva and I got fired. All you're doing is pretty posing photos and basically spending half your year down in Costa Rica. I don't want to hear how bad you've got it. You got families in the UK who can't afford to go to the beach, and even if they did, they'd probably be arrested for a tweet they made. And trust me, don't get me wrong, it's bad everywhere. The whole world's gone insane, not just the UK. Oh, but meanwhile, like I said, they're having a lot of the stuff going on over there with the Fallout guys that we had going on here with Doctor Who now because they're throwing fits over the canon and sacred lore of New Vegas. It cannot be touched. Oh, look, they must... And they did this shit back when the show first came on with the Pridwin showing up. And it said, who's to say it's the same Pridwin? We don't know what happened to the Pridwin after it went to the East Coast. Oh, blah, 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 blah. It has to be the same one, blah, blah. It's like, they even said in Fallout 4 there was more than one airship And I don't think they may have been following the plans of the other airships they had already built. Ugh. So, I mean, it's just crazy stuff. It's like, I'd be more worried about what's going on in your neighborhood than I'd be worried what's going on in a fictional universe far, far away these days. Oh. Oh, they are changing the time in the UK this weekend. I think we're doing it one more time, and I have no idea what's going on. I think we're going to go to daylight savings time again in the spring. I think, I don't know if we're changing. I'm not sure. I never looked in on any of that. I'm hoping to get an announcement because we were supposed to be getting rid of it, daylight savings time. I don't know why we kept it this long. It was kind of redundant after the first, half century or so. Like farmers don't know what time to get up and, meet the sun. Please, those guys have been meeting the sun for centuries. They. And after today, I won't be back till Tuesday. I had to take Monday off or something. And Saturday I will not be here because I'll be making my magical phone call that gets me out of Saturdays now. And I really wish I could get everybody out of Saturdays. It's just ridiculous. But, what can you do? It's... Of course, it's the same in Ireland. Just, you guys are over there with them. You're in the same time zone with those guys, whether you like it or not. Well, there's a lot of states in here. There are a lot of states in the union who no longer change their clocks. They've passed things against it. There are entire states that don't do follow daylight savings time anymore. I can't remember which ones. There's already a few out there, and I just wish they just get rid of it the whole thing wide. There's no point in keeping it. It's ridiculous. Well, there's nothing wrong with voting for a woman. Just make sure, they're the right person. I don't care what they got in between their legs it's what's in their head that counts. Do they have any brains up there? Hopefully. Like I said, if it weren't for Sarah Palin, I would have voted for Charles McCain. It's not because she was a woman. It's because when you're sitting there in an interview and you can't even give an answer to a simple question like what's your favorite magazine without going into a total lockup, that kind of worries me about what's going to happen, when you have your hands on the nuclear football. Because, McCain had already had 2 heart attacks at that point, one more, and she's your president. How's she going to handle pressure sitting there at the Oval Office when she can't even answer a simple question in an interview? And it's the same thing with Kamala. She had literally 0 political experience, pretty much, before she became vice president. And I'm like, this is the person who's going to be in charge if, when Biden finally loses it. And I felt bad for Joe Biden because it was obvious, like other presidents, he was just there to dance on the end of the strings, but it was obvious the poor fellow was having problems and they didn't care. They just propped him up as a figurehead like we do with all presidents these days. That's all they are, as far as I'm concerned. So no, it's nothing bad happening on Monday. It's just, Lady G wanted me to go with her to her cardiologist appointment, so I scheduled it off a ways back. So like I said, I don't care, if you're male, female, or whatever. As long as you know what you're doing, I'll vote for you. But the sad part is I really haven't voted in the presidential election because what have they really done since, in the last half century other than obey their corporate masters? I'm sorry. She was the Attorney General of California. Yeah. And? A lot of people have been Attorney General of California. Like I said, yeah, if you feel they're most qualified to be the new public figurehead, vote for them. That's all they are anymore. Oh, well, I just looked at the time. I've got to get running. So once again, the evil cannon monsters out there, and this time it's been running around the Fallout fandom, just as it was here in the Whovian fandom for the longest time. And I'm just saying, look, shit happens. It's like, it's a fictional world. Don't worry about it. Worry about what's going on in the real world. That's the disturbing one. Oh, well, till then, everybody, I'll probably see y'all on Tuesday. Please be kind, be calm, be safe. Enjoy the rest of your weekends. Take care, everyone, and we'll hopefully catch you all in the very near future. Take care. Hang on. All right, there it is.